Greetings YouTube and welcome back to my channel. It is 8 o'clock in the morning in Switzerland. It is the final day of my grand tour and I'm in a race against the weather to get this tent packed down because rain is coming. Let's have it! One nil to me. Well, that was perfect. The very kind gentleman camping over yonder offered me some bread for breakfast. But I have plans to have my breakfast in Saint-Ursanne, which is just down the road. And very, very, very pretty. So, the field was a bit muddy when I came in. Front end of the bike decided to go for a little wander all by itself. So we'll see how we get on getting out. I haven't got the Anarchy Wilds on anymore. I've got the Anarchy Adventures, so there's far less grip on wet slippy grass and mud, but I'm sure we'll be okay. There we go, not a problem. Well, that was a very, very good place to stay for the night. I think it cost me 22 Swiss francs. Camping Tarich or Tarich, I don't know how to say it. I'm not even sure at the moment whether I'm in a French or German speaking part of Switzerland, because any of the workers I talk to, be it campsites or restaurants, they approach me using either language. So there is rain forecast. It is due in about an hour's time, maybe a couple of hours, and thunderstorms. So I will be wrapping myself up against that. At least I've got the tent down dry, that's a bonus. If I'm soaked riding through France, and there's every chance I will be looking for an Airbnb tonight. But how's this for a morning ride to breakfast? It's 10 to 9. I hope there's a cafe or something open because I am quite hungry. There's the stream, that's not a stream, there's the river I was listening to all night. I have realised that camping pillow I bought, replacing my home pillow, which I always usually camp with, but can't do because this tent takes up more room. I'm doing a rubbish job of explaining this. The camping pillow doesn't let me sleep very well, I'm afraid. It's just not big enough. I'm going to have to find an alternative and rejig stuff so that I can have my new tent, which I'm absolutely loving, up and down in minutes, as opposed to fiddling about with poles and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to have to find an alternative. Well, my friends, welcome to beautiful, beautiful Saint-Ursanne. I did just ride the bike through all of these cobbled streets, filming for you, as I was trying to find somewhere to eat. And then the GoPro in its wisdom decided, just as I closed the footage down, to corrupt the file, and I lost it all. So I'm going to take you around on foot. Because I don't want to upset people by just aimlessly riding around this beautiful, beautiful little village. And then I'm going to get something to eat. Now the bike is tucked nicely there by the co-op. I'm guessing it'll be okay. I think the spaces that are designated in white are all right to park, and the ones that are blue, with blue lines, are reserved for people with permits. I'm surprised actually that you can get vehicles in here at all. I would have thought this would be pedestrianised, but luckily you can. I guess it is a living, thriving village or town, and people need to access their houses and their businesses. The church being the centre point of the town. I have to excuse my eyes, my hay fever is just going mad. Look at that doorway, wow. Now I think this is the absolutely gorgeous bridge I was talking about earlier. Bonjour. Now there's definitely no traffic on the bridge. So my campsite was about 6 kilometres in that direction. So this is the same river that I lie awake all night listening to. It's just beautiful. And then just to prove I'm still on the Grand Tour, albeit doing it back to front now in my own way, this is one of those signs. Big little metal thing, which is a bit ugly really, which is framing the viewpoint for you, and they're saying this is the place to take a photo, and I agree, that is a stunning scene. Bonjour. I think the term picture postcard springs to mind. Just look at the roofs, I absolutely love them. Like something out of a fairy tale. Breakfast is really beckoning. I can barely see out of my right eye, even with the medication. How daft to be allergic to summer. So as I said, I have ridden through all these streets already, filming and chatting away, but GoPro in its wisdom decided it wasn't to be. That's very, very, very pretty view just up there, spoiled slightly by the van. What can you do? Now if it had been a nice Bonneville or GSA parked there, then that would be a different story. It would enhance the view. I'm sure you know what I mean. Let's see if I can get something for breakfast. Here, it says tea room. Are they open? It's promising. It is promising. Cool. Bonjour. Bonjour. Well, perfect. I have ordered a pain au chocolat, something else that is pastry based, and I have no idea what it is, and a cappuccino. I'm sat outside there, the first spots of rain, which makes me think I might need to wrap myself up in my rubber romper suit, before I get going so that I don't just have to stop as soon as I get down the road. It also means I'll probably disconnect the mic from the GoPro so I don't wreck that. The forecast is pretty poor, I think. I will double check it, but thunderstorms and heavy rain, which, given that within a few hours I'll be in France, that's par for the course, isn't it?
Voilà.
Merci beaucoup.
De rien, monsieur. Le voici.
Très bien. My eyes. Breakfast. So my plan after breakfast is to head to Basel, avoiding any motorways, anything like that, which will kind of complete the grand tour for me, and then I'm going to continue without using motorways through France on my way back to Calais, and I'll stop somewhere mid-France tonight. Well, that was very, very nice, and I've realised why I'm suffering with the hay fever so much already, and that's because the plonker that I am, I've forgotten to take any medication at all, so that's the first thing I do when I get back to the bike in just a second. And then I'm going to look and just check there are no other kind of waypoints on the route that I should be checking out on my way to Basel, because it's nearly over. As I said earlier, view enhancing. Right, let's take you on a little circuit, a little lap of Saint-Ursanne. Seems to be a rush on horse carriages at the moment. It's a 20km/h limit around here, and rightly so. Such a beautiful village. That bridge again, which I'm not going to attempt to ride on because you're not allowed. So it's going to be a fairly lazy day's riding again today. I think if I ride until kind of 6 o'clock, what is it now, 10, but I don't go mad. I'm not going on motorways if I can help it. I'm just going to pootle along, enjoying the countryside. I'll get to Basel, and then I will make my way onwards to somewhere mid-France so that I'm within striking distance of Calais the following day. It would be quite cool to camp. There's where I had my breakfast, and very nice it was too. Nice way of doing it, bike packing. They're probably even more at the mercy of the rain and the weather than I am. Beautiful. I like this place a lot. Yeah, it'd be quite nice to stay at the place I stayed at on the last night of my Sicily tour, where the chickens, or the roosters, whatever they were, gave me the wake-up call, and my old tent decided to call it a day, and the tent pole rip through the actual tent itself. However, that might be out of my way. I'll see. If I end up there, then great, but I think, having just looked at the forecast, Basel has rain This place here has rain within the next hour. I felt a few drops a moment ago when I was having breakfast. And I looked at Reims, which is kind of mid-France, I guess, and that's heavy rain all day. So it's going to be business as usual as I make my way through France. So I've got a sneaky feeling I'm not going to want to camp. I'm going to be looking for an Airbnb. So by mid-afternoon I'll make a decision on where I might end up, and then I'll try and reserve somewhere. And to be honest, it's probably no more expensive in France than camping, really. Certainly more expensive in Switzerland, by the way. There's very few Airbnbs in Switzerland and they're all expensive. I paid 61 Swiss francs for that very lovely chalet I had the other day. Yesterday. No, day before yesterday. Whatever day it was. Whereas I'd like to pay usually between 25 and 30 euros, something like that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. I was down there a while ago. This is a very nice road to be exiting on, a nice cobbled ascent. Beautifully smooth road. This tour has been all about the riding for me, it always is. I like to do my sightseeing from the saddle because the riding is what I enjoy the best. But the roads, if you get a chance to come and ride the Grand Tour of Switzerland, the roads are fab. I mean, this is as smooth as you like, there's no potholes. And it's fun. And at the moment, I know it's almost June, it's the last week of May, 29th of May today. This probably won't air until, I don't know, August or something. It's quite a way away. But I've got the place to myself. Probably not the case if I was here in July or August. And the price I paid for being early was not being able to do the Gotthard or the Furka Pass, but never mind. What a road. What a road. Well, even as I near the end of my tour and I get towards Basel, the roads don't disappoint. Here comes the rain. Hopefully I can outrun it. Well, that was a fun road. Look at that view. Leave one fun road, join another one. This is good. Making sure the tyres are nice and round in profile before I make my way back across France. Having said that, I'm avoiding the motorway, so maybe I'm not going to square them off on this occasion. I'm going to need them for the Black Forest at the end of August with Ben. Right, it might be time to stop and put on the suit and disconnect the mic, I think. Could have stopped there. Next one. Now, it's a real shame to be wrapping myself up, but the forecast is poor, really poor. So I think I'm just delaying the inevitable if I don't sort myself out now. And I'd much rather put that suit on dry than soaked through and cold, because I've done that before. So it's better to put it on early. You learn your lessons as you go along, and I'm going to get the phone out of the way as well so it doesn't get upset by the rain. It's like a little rain dance putting this on. I usually end up hopping all over the place, but not this occasion. Maybe after 20 years of using this, I'm getting the hang of it. I will be sorry when it eventually gives up the ghost. It does let a bit of water in these days, especially around the crotch. There's a bit of a rip going on down there, but it's better than nothing. I've gone to all the effort of putting all this on and it's stopped raining. But that doesn't change the forecast, which is heavy rain in the direction I'm going, so I'm sure I'm just going to ride into it. So be it. Right, let's get this grand tour finished. Turn. And what I was doing then, looking at the one ahead. Anyway, let's get this tour finished. I'm just leaving Switzerland, entering France, and I'm sure I'll be back in Switzerland before you know it. Switzerland we go. And back into France we go, in and out of the countries. Well, my friends, I have made it to Basel, which signifies the end of my Swiss Grand Tour, but it's not the end of my tour because I still have 600 miles to get home, and it is raining. I've stopped at this illustrious place because it was the first easy thing I could find. I'm gonna have a coffee and then I'm gonna hit the long road back, find somewhere to not camp. I'm not camping, you know, I'm gonna be soaked by the end of today. Find somewhere for an Airbnb, maybe around Reims, somewhere that area, I don't know, but I'll work out as I go along. Right, I have a plan formulated over a cup of coffee courtesy of the Golden Arches. I'm heading to Troyes again, and if you'll remember my return trip from Sicily, I had a right old to-do with the Airbnb where the host wasn't responding, and it took 4 hours in the end to get sorted, and I ended up camping, having backtracked a little bit now. Anyway, I've gone for an Airbnb in the city again, this time a completely different host, different place, and they've already responded and said, "You're welcome, come on." So it says I've still not selected the motorways. I could be there in 3.5 hours if it was 3.5, 4 hours if it was motorways, but I've got non-motorways selected, and it is currently, what is the time? It is currently 1 o'clock, and it says I'll be there at 7:45, so quite a lot longer. I will start on that route and then see how I feel and whether I just give up trying to stay off the motorways and just want to get there. Anyway, it's raining still. I've got a long way to go. Let's have it. Wow, how nice. Well, I can't quite remember what time I set off from Basel, from the McDonald's where I had a coffee, but I think it was about 3.5, longer than that, I don't know, 4.5 hours ago, something like that. I just don't know, I've lost track. Anyway, it's now 5:30, or is it? Hold on. Nope, it's now 5:45, and I'm desperate for a coffee, desperate for the loo. My backside is starting to get quite tender. Every single cafe I've passed through rural France in the rain has been shut. It's like they don't want to serve me, and only fast food today, and indeed yesterday, is going to be my saviour. So a cup of coffee is on the cards now. And just a chance to stretch my legs. Well, after 8 hours or something, I may or may not be here I was running an interesting experiment. Google Maps and the Nav 6, they both had the same address. Google Maps has brought me here, the Nav 6 wants me to be somewhere else. It'd be interesting to see if I'm in the right place. My host said the road that she's on, which in theory is this one, has been turned into a one-way and you can't enter it, which was very much the case. So I'm hoping this is right. I'll have a look and see. If all is well, I will next see you in my Airbnb getting organised. I have arrived. Here's my room for the night. View from the window. Anyway, it's dry, and having just ridden for about 8 hours through mostly heavy rain, I am ready to stop for the day. Let me show you where I've been today. So the day started, it's going to take me a second to find it, bear with me. Here, sorry again about the reflections, there's nothing I can do about it. In Saint-Ursanne, where I had breakfast in that lovely picturesque village. It was gorgeous. So it started there, I then worked my way up here, following the route as best I could, and ended up in Basel. So then, after a coffee at McDonald's, I then did this route here. If you look at my phone, let's see if we can see it. Starting in Basel to Troyes. Didn't do the motorway at all, and it says 5 hours 24 minutes, and it always takes longer. So I'm going to end today's video here, and then tomorrow I think I have a small window of opportunity. There's heavy rain and thunderstorms here coming in at about 10. I'm going to aim to be out by 8 and go into the old part of town, because it's cobbled streets, medieval, half-timbered houses. It should be beautiful, and have breakfast. And then I'm going to blast up the motorway to Calais to get my train through the tunnel, which is at 3:20, and I think I've got 250 miles to go from here to Calais. Should have time to have breakfast, and looking at the forecast in Calais tomorrow, it's not raining. So in theory, if I can outrun the weather, here it's currently raining still, I can see it outside. If I can outrun the weather here, then I'm stand a chance of being dry tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and like it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.